So I'm from CATE, which is an experimental station based in France. So today I will explain to you the showcase we conducted for the 13 project about the Priva Slab balance and the route optimizer software. So we'll start just with a quick presentation of the station. So as I said, we are based in France, northwest in Brittany, in Saint-Paul-de-Léon. So we were founded in 1965 by a professional organization. So we are mainly funded by producers. The facilities has 12 hectares where we conduct experimentation on open field, and also we have 4,000 of square meters of greenhouse. We do have 4 expertises in fresh vegetables, greenhouse vegetables, ornamentals, and cultivated mushrooms. The station works really closely with the growers. We want, when we conduct experimentation, that they are useful for them to answer and solve the technical issue they are facing. So the 13 project mainly took place in the greenhouse section. And in 2016, we had the great opportunity to see a new section built with 2 semi-closed sections and 1 semi-closed plus hybrid lights equipped to produce crop over winter. So these are just a few pictures to illustrate the structure where the experimentation were conducted. So what we wanted for that showcase was to enhance our optimization of the irrigation and adjust as much as possible the input to the plant need. So the issue was to find a technology where we could set up our strategy. The solution that we found was to set up a technology that will take into account the plant demand in real instant. Priva is a company that is marketing integrated and climate control system for several industrial sectors, including horticulture. So we showcased one of the technology, which was the Priva Slab balance and its route optimizer software. So the setup was complete last August. At the station, we've got 2 scales spread over 2 greenhouses. The scale weighs 2 rock wool substrate, which represent 12 tomato plants. The route optimizer is integrated into the Priva software that we already had. So these are just the picture. I know it's not really clear with the plant, but on the first picture, you can see the scale, so it's pretty minimalist in terms of implementation. And at the extremity, you can see the drainer sensor. That is the real plus to the technology, so we can know the plant demand, because before we couldn't calculate with the scale we had in the past. So this is just a simple diagram for you to see how things work. So we've got the scale with 2 slabs, a drainer sensor at the extremity. So we've got a fertigation system with drippers, really classic. So when we irrigate, we know exactly how much the slab weighs and how much water we collect. The balance is directly linked to a computer, to the control computer, which will trigger or not an irrigation cycle based on the instruction that we set up. The working principle is based on the plant transpiration and the plant growth, that is made of a weight increase minus the weight decrease and the drain quantity measured by the drain sensor. Below the graph is what we obtain on the Priva's office. There are a bit of a lot of curves, but the two main ones that we should focus is the red one, that is the slab humidity, which is the dry out measure, so it's in real time. So we can see the night dry out section, if that works here. So it's overnight. Then it's the morning with the first irrigation when we want to reach a plateau phase that we have here before to be again in the night and start again the process. So the blue curve here, it's our strategy that we set up. So it's guiding the curve on, we'd want her not to go below that humidity. So this is the screen where we set up the technology. So maybe people in the room as the Priva's office. But when you have the route optimizer, you have the line 25, 27, and 29 that are new, that is added with the route optimizer software. We can set up the drainage desired. So and divide that per period. So the first period is the morning. The second one is the plateau phase. And the third period is when we finish the day. And finally, because we are over summer, we did a fourth period overnight because it was pretty warm. So we can see that the drain desired vary amongst the day. Here it will be the instruction that the computer will integrate to trigger or not the irrigation. We can also tune the strategy if we want to reach that value more or less quickly. So this is like a progressive value we want to reach, and that setting is like we want to reach right now at that time. So as it was quite recent, we couldn't make a lot of results, but we did a comparison on a mixed day, so when it's cloudy, sunny, because our irrigation is triggered through solarimeter. So we just compared one section who had only the solarimeter and the other one who had the route optimizer on top. And we could see that for the morning, we had one more irrigation with the route optimizer. The plateau phase was a bit more linear and more regular in the pattern of the cycles. And finally, at the end of the day, we got one more extra irrigation. So we could see it was really interesting because the conduct of the irrigation was more regular and was really adjust to the plant need, that the solarimeter is just based on the radiation and not what the plant really need. I had one slide. No, I'm not starting again. What's she doing on the computer? So the conclusion that we could do after the trial was we got a better management. We got a better management of the irrigation, especially for the mixed day on the mornings, and we could trigger overnight irrigation that we couldn't do it before. So it was great, especially over summer, and in winter when it's really cold nights. The drainer is a real bonus because we can know exactly the plant demand. We've got in-life data, so we can have reactive decision if we need to adjust anything. So we reduced excessive consumption of water and nutrients, of course, because we optimized. And we got also healthier plant. The only downside was the need of technical support to implement that technology. We spent a few hours on the phone with Priva trying to set up the settings. But once everything was running, the settings were adjusted. It ran really smoothly, and it was a great tool to use. So that's for CATE.